There is growing evidence to show that nutrition influences the risk of developing dementia. What we do know is that nutritional problems arise as a result of having dementia. These include unexplained weight loss, difficulty swallowing and other eating problems, accessing food, which can lead to poor food intake, and also undernutrition and dehydration. If not managed well, this will impact upon overall health and well-being and the quality of life for the person living with dementia, and is likely to increase the progression of dementia itself. This 2-year project has been funded by the Burdett Trust for Nursing. They are one of the UK's leading charities who are passionate about empowering and upskilling registered nurses and frontline care staff. And I've been leading a great team of inspirational people from Bournemouth University, but also working in partnership with people across health and social care, including those from council, the local enterprise partnership, commissioners, as well as those from care homes and carers themselves, to gather information to identify best practice to deliver nutrition in dementia care. The purpose of this tool is to share the findings of our work and to offer a series of solutions that is linked with a workbook. In this way, it will be possible for you to know and understand much more about nutrition and what this means to deliver person-centred, humanised care for the person living with dementia.
Yeah, I'm over to go. Just take that plate from you.
Morning, love.
Good morning, son. There we are, Joan. Your toast and marmalade. And John, your breakfast. Do you want to pour, or shall I pour? You could pour.
Food is central to everything that we do. We associate food with those happy times and those special occasions, such as parties, weddings, and even funerals. So how do we improve the delivery of good food and nutrition for people living with dementia? It's not just about putting good food on the plate. Everybody has a responsibility, whether you're a nurse, a frontline care worker, a manager, an allied health professional such as a dietitian, or caterer or chef.
As soon as a new resident comes in, we do a chef's visit, go and talk to them. It's quite an informal thing where we just see what they like or dislike, and feed that back to the kitchen staff and care staff, so we get a better idea of how they eat and what's best for them.
It will start as far as gathering as much information as we can, not only with the person themselves but with relatives, talking to other external professionals about those people, to try and gauge what will encourage a person's well-being and what makes that person who they are. And it might be that they've always enjoyed a particular meal at a particular time.
Usually for breakfast you'd notice the gentlemen residents here usually tend to have a fry-up, and the ladies would usually have a cold cereal or maybe a bit of porridge.
So all of our food is fortified with butter, full fat milk, cream, cheese. If somebody perhaps had a specific need, they came in with very low weight, we fortify everything and they'd be encouraged to have drinks that were made with full fat milk.
Well, we start by seasoning the mash, and then we add in butter and cream and milk powder. And the butter and cream is to increase the calories, and the milk powder adds protein.
Additional supplements then we would encourage, so like the mousses and the trifles, so we would have our menu, our meals throughout the course of the day, but perhaps mid-morning we might encourage then a fortified sweet, and then mid-afternoon again. So we're encouraging those extra supplement meals to encourage weight gain.
Puddings we usually send out with the tea trolley in between the meals. They're usually fattening up desserts to help encourage the residents to put on weight.
Cup of tea, Dorothy?
Yes, please, dear.
We are aware that that can cause all sorts of problems if they don't have enough fluid intake. We are a traditional home, so we have the morning coffees, we have the afternoon teas, we have milky drinks at night.
There we are, Muriel.
Thank you very much.
We always offer soft drinks with all meals, and right throughout the day they're available for all of them to help themselves or for the staff to assist them. We do have what we call our stimulation lounge for our ladies and gents perhaps that can't communicate their needs as far as I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. We train staff to look for those sort of prompts as to when the weather's warm, we need more fluid intake than what we would when the weather was colder, and we're going to encourage more soft drinks rather than hot caffeine-y drinks. Ice lollies, jellies, soups, all of the above really. So it just doesn't have to be squash or water. Melons, yeah, so much
Fruits.
that we just look at. We've frozen fruit before, haven't we? Just so that they can suck on that side. It's still fluid intake.
And we have a lady that likes a glass of brandy before bed. And that's something that she made us aware of, and it's something she's always done, and just because she's in residential care doesn't mean to say it has to change.
We should all aim to be drinking at least 1,500 mils of fluid a day. How we do that depends on our individual requirements and our individual choices and preferences. But an example of this might be that we have a drink first thing in the morning when we wake up, a drink with our breakfast, 2 drinks later on during the morning, a drink with our lunch, a drink after lunch, 2 drinks during the course of the afternoon, a drink with our supper or our tea time, and then a final drink in the evening, making 10 drinks in total.
We've already discussed that real risk of dehydration, and it's really having that toolkit for yourselves and for all of your staff to be able to try and, individual care, work out what's right and what's not.
A range of tools can help facilitate both eating and drinking and enabling those living with dementia to retain a level of independence. Lipped plates for those who struggle to put food on their cutlery. Thermally insulated plates for slow eaters that keep the food warm. Cups with different attributes, such as 2 handles or sloping sides, or plastic cups to reduce the weight. Cutlery with sturdy weighted handles for those who struggle to control conventional cutlery. Sticky mats are available to stop plates moving around. And the use of different colours to contrast can help the identification of different tools.
The feedback has been that various different colour plates work in different situations, and if blue works best in your environment, great. If there is someone who doesn't, try a different colour plate, but definitely not patterned. And there were some lovely examples, one care home having flowery plates and a lady tipping water onto her flowery plate, and she'd been a gardener.
Remember, preferences of food may change as dementia develops. Our innate liking for sweet foods can take over, and foods that haven't been eaten for a long time may once again become the food of choice. For example, long-term vegetarians may choose to eat meat once again.
For mains, we have bacon and courgette in a mustard cream sauce, or the alternative is baked pollock with a dill sauce. For desserts, we have egg custard with pouring cream, which is okay for diabetics, or the alternative is a selection of cold sweets, which I'll talk you through as we send them out.
We have a chef briefing so that our care staff are encouraged to actually explore what's on the menu, and then they're able then to go out into the dining room and to explain to the residents what the meal is, what's involved with the meal.
We've got bacon and courgette in the cream and mustard sauce, or pollock.
We constantly use visual aids in all aspects of care, but especially nutritional care. If somebody perhaps was to show me steak and chips and fish pie, I would know that I definitely want steak and chips, even though I may not be able to communicate that verbally through visual choice. That would be the one that I choose.
It might be that, I might not fancy what I've picked the day before. I might be feeling a little bit different. So this is why for us our choices are made at that time for that person, so they know exactly what they've ordered when.
We go with the seasons here. Our menus are usually designed around the seasonal veg that we get in, as well as the fruits.
The body clock can change for those living with dementia. We are all individuals, and some meals are often eaten better than others. Strong flavours such as cheese, spices, paprika, herbs and tomato puree can maximise the impact on different dishes. The aromas associated with cooking food can kickstart the sense of smell and induce appetite.
I've tried a couple of Asian dishes, Oriental dishes. Tried black bean sauce. That actually went down quite well.
So our youngest resident is around 74 years old, and we have a resident now who is 102 years old. So as far as changes and different nutritional needs, etc. and wants, Queensmead have a very open door policy. We actually have a residents committee that meet, and everybody is encouraged to talk about their likes and their dislikes. It could be that it's done on a trial period, that they're saying we want more curries, we want more sweet and sours, and the chef then would provide that and then monitor to see if it needed to be encouraged more or perhaps pulled back a little bit. So
We've at least given it that go.
And then again with that nutritional care plan would be that actually this particular person likes sweet and sour chicken, they like moussaka and they like curries, so they would be offered that regularly, and our menus really have evolved from that. It's, you know, we're completely resident focused and about what they want.
Consider the environment food is served. Residents might prefer to eat their meals in different areas of the care home. Their own rooms, the lounges, the dining area. Allow differentiation of how these look at different meal times, and consider soothing music to be playing. Have you a protected mealtime policy?
Often you'll see written dementia patient, and instantly we're labelling somebody by their diagnosis. What's important for us healthcare professionals is to see beyond the diagnosis, to see the person, not the dementia. And how we do that is knowing the person's life story. If you've spent your life running your home and then enter a home where everything's done for you, where is your chance to fold the towels, to sort out the underwear, to hang out the washing? I've worked with some homes that have embraced the opportunities of this, and they've bought feather dusters and polish for the residents that want to do that, exactly that, to clean their rooms. It doesn't matter if that's done well or not, but the activity, the opportunity to look after themselves provides a sense of purpose for that individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the garden club. Lovely to see you all.
It says that we have to choose a sunny position.
What, me or the sea?
As both.
Okay, well, if we're actually putting them in here, we only need to put one in there, don't we then, really?
Well, I suppose,
yeah. We'll put one in, Dorothy.
Yeah,
okay.
Kick them over,
Oh.
and press them a little bit. My pleasure, Dee. You don't have to say thank you. It's a job to do, isn't it?
So did your dad grow a lot of veg? Yeah?
I'm my father-in-law.
What about you, Hilda? Would you have beetroot in your salad?
Lettuce.
Beetroot?
Yeah,
I
love beetroot.
Lovely.
My father-in-law had a big garden.
Right.
He had an enormous great garden.
Did he?
Yeah.
So you used to help him out, did you?
Yeah.
And what are they called?
Strawberries.
Do
you like strawberries?
Showed you my son.
Do they? Did you ever grow them?
Oh yeah, we have a family.
Joyce has got the onion, Mervyn. There we go. That's it. That's a different one there, Joyce. That's a red onion.
Oh,
yeah, so you can get lots of different varieties.
Let me take the weight of it for you.
Yeah, one needs is a bit lower.
Here we are, Muriel.
All right. Right, Joyce, we're planting some peppers at the moment.
By just finding a link to that resident, whether that could be they were in the army for 20 years or they used to sew every day of their lives or they were in the WI, to then know something about that resident, you can then have a conversation with them.
So with regards to eating, to be able to talk to them whilst they're eating creates a really safe environment, and then they can trust you, and they tend to eat more because they're happy. You're not putting so much pressure on them, and they might eat as they're chatting like they would do if they were in a home environment. And also it shows that you care about them, that you spent some time to find something out about them.
Think creatively by knowing the person's story, get them engaged in things that stimulate those memories for them, that make them feel that they're the person once more, that they're living again.
Sausages, yum yum.
We were trying to think of things that our residents and their generation would have found fun, and one of the things we thought with the staff was Punch and Judy. It would have been a traditional thing to go to the seaside with your parents and watch Punch and Judy show, or even as adults take your children or your grandchildren. And then we wanted to link all the nutritional side of it, so they would have had popcorn in boxes, a traditional sweet trolley that they would have had, so they could have eaten that whilst they're watching the show. And then what else would link to summer but fish and chips by the seaside that you would have had. So we had fish and chip boxes with mushy peas, and then ice cream and cornets for dessert. And it was brilliant. For those residents who may struggle with swallowing or have dysphagia, we would try and give them another alternative. So that might be from a soft poached fish to maybe a fish pie with mashed potato, so they're still getting potatoes and fish. We even do pureed scones that look just like a scone, so when we have afternoon tea they can join in as well.
It's been a lovely day. Yeah, full marks. Sweet, well I like marshmallow. And you know the pastels, the fruit pastels, either with sugar or not. I love that. And I'm very, very fond of chocolate raisins. I got them in here. And I go down to my room after our supper. Then it's a sweet night.
Creating an environment that encourages people to eat, I think, is very important, and trying to keep them as able as possible for as long as they can.
There is going to be some contact, some touch, a little dance, so it's a bit of everything today. So feel free to join in as much or as little as you like. Now we're going to stimulate the sense of smell. So we're going to bring these around, and it's just to see if you can identify what some of these are.
Yeah, lemon.
Have a smell on this?
Shut up. I'm talking now.
What do you think that might be? Out of context, is that if you're in the garden and you smell it, you probably did it instantly.
It's basil. No, it's basil.
No?
I haven't got it all.
It sounds, it's a lot more processed and a lot sweeter, but it's vanilla pod. There's no use crying over
Spilled milk.
Spilt milk, excellent. And this is my favourite one of all. The proof of the pudding.
It's with the eating.
Indeed it is. Fabulous. And as keen as...
They're thinking of the
Mustard, that's the one. So I'm going to leave you with these, seeing how these taste for you. I'll put a little music on. So David, if this comes to you, beautifully done. Oh, blimey, David. Now that's it. Excellent, beautifully done. Thank you, Ron. To Michael. Excellent.
Yeah. Don't spend over
All together. We're tickling each other.
I think as people are living longer and we're seeing increased demand from people with dementia, we're having to learn about new ways to work with people. And it's really important that we don't let people just slip into a sedentary lifestyle because they're in a residential or a nursing home situation. There are many activities that people can participate in, can be active, can be up and walking about, things that will excite them, that will make them laugh, and things that will make them feel happier and hungry or thirsty. And those things are the way to get the nutrition into people. If somebody is just sitting slouched in a chair all day and we just keep bringing them food and they refuse it, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? So I think one of the big roles for nursing and care homes is good quality activity coordination and getting people up and about, get their circulation going, get them laughing, get them enjoying themselves. And that has got to be a really powerful point that comes out of the whole process.
So whether it's an organised activity or something as part of your daily routine, all activity counts. It's about being involved with every aspect of daily life.
We've known for an awful long time that person-centred care is really vital. We would all want it. We'd want it for ourselves, we'd want it for our relatives, we'd want it for our friends. There is a way that you can think about this, a simple way, and it's to think about 3 types of knowledge. And those are the head knowledge that you would use, the heart knowledge, and the hand knowledge. So what do I mean by that in relation to food and nutrition for older people with dementia? Well, for example, it's vital that you do have the head knowledge. It's vital that you know how to assess older people's food and nutrition needs, particularly people with dementia. It's vital to know how to use a must tool, for example. It's vital to know that, dentures are important for people who need them. It's vital to know all those simple head facts that will enable people to eat. You've also got to think, what would be important to me if I really wanted to enjoy eating and drinking? Now for me, what would be really important is to be in a social setting. It would be really good to be in a dining room that was pleasant. Maybe perhaps I'm used to having a sherry before I have my evening meal. Well, wouldn't it be nice if I could do that? Now those are kind of heart knowledge things. They're not sort of necessarily head knowledge, but together that head knowledge with the heart knowledge will enable me to guide my hands, enable my hands to give humanly sensitive care.
The staff, it's vital they know the resident to understand what their needs are, to understand how those needs are going to be met. At meal times, our staff will sit with the residents. They will have, some of them will have meals as well, because a lot of our residents will mirror what the staff are doing. They don't, you have to remember we are dealing with sort of very advanced, complex dementia, and some of them don't recognise food, don't recognise that that is something they should be eating. But if it looks pretty, it looks attractive, they may be more inclined to pick it up and put it in their mouth.
I try to guide them. After a couple of minutes, they actually will start eating themselves. So it's just a good approach with, rather than straight away think that a person can't feed themselves, just to sit with them, give them a bit of time and try to encourage to move the hand towards their mouth.
They may not use cutlery, they may want to pick up a bowl and drink from the bowl, but all of this is perfectly acceptable, and our staff don't challenge that. They just encourage, as I said, that because it's still independent, still giving them that freedom of choice.
Good communication with relatives is very important, because with dementia our residents changing and they have to know that they're changing.
And you need to educate them to understand that it is more dignified to promote their independence still and not actually take away and sit them down and say, right, we're going to feed you.
So this is really key. It's about building relationships and gaining trust. Residents with other residents.
Happy birthday to you.
Residents with staff.
Birthday to you.
Residents with families. It's about that holistic approach.
One of the things that we've found through creating the film has been that those changes do not need big investment. They're small changes that are tailored to the individual. Everybody is different. Everybody's wishes and desires are going to be different. And you cannot treat everybody in a uniform way because one size doesn't fit all.
So having watched this training tool and completed the workbook, we would like you to come away knowing more about nutrition and how to deliver person-centred, humanised care for the person living with dementia in any care setting.